Munster, Ireland. From the Encyclopedia Britannica. Munster, the southwestern province of Ireland, comprising the counties of Clare, Cork, Kerry, Limerick, Tipperary, and Waterford. It was historically one of the 5/5 ancient provinces or kingdoms of Ireland. Geographically, the area is divided by the Slab Lucra Mountains into Desmond to the south and Thomond to the north. The power of the kingdom originally lay in the south, where the ruling Irain clan had their chief fortress at Temur, Iran, in the Ballihora Hills in what is now County Limerick. Inroads into northern Munster made by the neighboring men of Leinster were fought off by a people known as the Agnachta. We know Cheryl cannot pronounce these words. It's fine. If you know how to pronounce them, let me know. Who were aided by Desi professional fighting men who were rewarded for their efforts with land that became County Waterford and part of southern County Tipperary. An offshoot group of these Desi invaded Connaught and deprived that kingdom of the area that is now County Clare. From 400 CE, the Agnachta ruled Munster, establishing colonies in Cork and Kerry and making Cashel their capital. The Agnachta, it doesn't put the pronunciation out there, so I'm trying to pronounce it on my own. Later unsuccessfully challenged the Leinster High Kings and in the 10th century failed to defend their own land against Viking raiders who settled in Waterford and Limerick. That led to the collapse of the Agnachta dynasty, which was succeeded in Munster by the Clare dynasty of Dal Chase. In the 11th and 12th centuries, Agnachta power revived, especially in Cork, where the McCarthys, O'Callaghan's, and O'Keefe's held sway. But the Dal Chase dynasty, the O'Briens, remained dominant, especially in Thomond. After the Anglo-Norman invasion of the mid-12th century, the feudal families of Fitzgerald, Earls of Desmond, and of Butler, Earls of Ormond, became all-powerful in the province area. 9,527 square miles. Pop, 2002. 1,164,000 in 2006. Oh, excuse me. Whew. Don't you love learning about history with me? Let me rephrase that. Okay. The area of Munster is 9,527 square miles. The population in 2002 was 1,106,614. As of 2006, the population is 1,173,340. Gaelic Revival. The Gaelic Revival, resurgence of interest in Irish language, literature, history, and folklore that was inspired by the growing Irish nationalism of the early 19th century. By that time, Irish had died out as a spoken tongue except in isolated rural areas, and English had become the official and literary language of Ireland. The discovery of philologists of how to read Old English, how to read, Sherry, written prior to 900 CE, and the subsequent translations of ancient Irish manuscripts, the annuals of the Four Masters, made possible the reading of Ireland's earliest literature. Heroic tales, such as those of the Ulster and the Fianna cycles, caught the imagination of the educated classes. Anglo-Irish poets experimented with verse that was structured according to patterns and rhythms of the Irish language, and that echoed the passion and rich imagery of ancient bardic verse. In 1842, the patriotic organization Young Ireland founded The Nation, a paper that published the works of Thomas Osborne Davis, a master of prose and verse, and of such poets as Thomas D'Arcy McGee, Richard Dalton Williams, and Speranza, the pseudonym of Lady Wilde, mother of poet, novelist, and dramatist Oscar Wilde. The paper helped to stir pride in Irish literary achievements. Dublin University Magazine, 1833 to 1880. Another important literary publication often included the work of James Clarence Mangan, who translated Irish poems into English and wrote original verse in the Bardic style. Jeremiah John Callahan was the first to use traditional Irish metrical forms, in particular, refrain in English verse. Sir Samuel Ferguson wrote epic-like poetry recalling Ireland's heroic past. Thomas More, Charles Maturin, and Maria Edgeworth also incorporated themes from earlier Irish works into their writings. The Gaelic revival was not a widespread, vigorous movement because political nationalism and the need for land reform overshadowed cultural nationalism. The revival did, however, lay the scholarly and nationalistic groundwork for the Irish literary renaissance, the great flowering of Irish literary talent at the end of the 19th and beginning of the 20th century. I laugh because I am dyslexic, in case you haven't realized from any of my videos, and I'm trying really hard, but I'm laughing at myself because apparently I am Irish, and part of my DNA comes from Munster, Ireland, so I'm not laughing at Ireland or Munster Island. It's part of me, part of my DNA and my history, so I like to have some enthusiasm when I do things. And that right there is what I know about Munster, Ireland. And now you've learned a little bit about Sherry, that she is from Munster Island, or at least her DNA is. But that's not the only place that it's from.